Now, the deadly consequences of Biden's border crisis are being felt all across the country. New documents reveal very disturbing details in the brutal murder of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray, now allegedly by 2 illegal immigrants. Prosecutors are now saying and allege that she was assaulted for nearly 2 hours before being murdered, while additional documents now say she fought back and fought back hard against her attackers, leaving bite and scratch marks on them. Meanwhile, another disturbing report alleges one of the attackers was actually wearing an ICE ankle monitor when the assault occurred. Both suspects are now being held on a $10 million bail. And sadly, these are just the latest unvetted Joe Biden illegal immigrants accused of heinous crimes. Here with reaction, we have Jocelyn's mother, Alexis Nungaray. Her grandfather is also with us. Kelvin Alvarenga. And Texas Senator Ted Cruz is also with us tonight. You know, Kelvin, Alexis, I wish I had words to provide comfort for you. Your beautiful, precious 12-year-old daughter had to go through this. I can only imagine the pain you feel. I don't know if it's something any human being can ever recover from. Alexis, you're a mom, and you know, I would ask how you're feeling, but I can imagine horrible.
Yes, it's definitely been something that's been hard to grasp for reality. But now I have to be her voice, and I need to make sure that everybody hears the horrible thing that happened to my daughter and give her justice and make a change, because we don't need to be burying our kids.
I understand. Kelvin, you're her grandfather. What we're describing here is nothing but pure evil. Here is your precious 12-year-old granddaughter, and you learn about the brutality of the attack and the murder. And then you also learn that this little 12-year-old girl fought back hard against these attackers. I don't know many 12-year-old little girls that would be capable of that. Tell us about your granddaughter, the girl you love so much.
Well, I can tell you is that she's a fighter. She's always been a fighter. She was never a follower. She would always conduct herself to try, being the leader. Very loved. Everywhere she went, she got loved from adults, kids her age, and she was amazing. She was starting to become a teenager, and that's something that was taken from us.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yes, sir. This
shouldn't have happened. This shouldn't have happened to her or any child. There's no words that I can tell you how I and my family is feeling. I mean, it's very devastating.
Senator Cruz, let me bring you on. Last night, I went back in time, and I went back to Trump Tower the day that Donald Trump announced he was getting into politics. And he said, yeah, there are some people coming here, they're fine, but there are also bad people that if they enter this country unvetted, they'll be rapists and murderers. And then I played the media outrage that Donald Trump dared to say that about unvetted. Under Joe Biden, 11 million unvetted illegal immigrants coming from countries with terror ties, countries where our top geopolitical foes, totally, completely unvetted. And I look at the life of this beautiful young girl. I think of this girl in Queens, New York, brutally raped in a park in broad daylight. I think of Laken Riley. I think of Rachel Morin, the mother of these young children. And it's like, how many more parents and families have to go through this, Senator, before this guy shuts down the border, because that border bill that he says was bipartisan didn't shut down anything. 5,000 people would enter before he could have discretion to enforce the border laws or not, which is ridiculous. What's your reaction?
Sean, this is horrific. Every day we're seeing more and more Americans killed, more and more children killed, more and more victims of horrific assaults. Let me say to Alexis and Kelvin that they have such incredible courage standing up and speaking out for Jocelyn. The agony that the entire family, a 12-year-old precious girl, this is wrong. Look, Alexis and Kelvin and Jocelyn, they're from my hometown of Houston. The entire city of Houston, the entire state of Texas, the entire country is grieving this precious girl who should be alive. She should be laughing. She should be playing with friends. She should not have been taken horribly by two monsters. Let me be very clear. These bastards should be executed and they should burn in the pits of hell. But we shouldn't have to be talking about this because Jocelyn should still be with us. And every day, this administration is releasing more and more and more illegal aliens who are going on to kill people day after day after day. And it's every day you pick up the newspaper, every day you look at the headlines, and it happens over and over again. The fact that these monsters did this while wearing an ICE ankle bracelet, they'd come into this country and they were let go. It is wrong, and enough is enough. We need to demand stop allowing this invasion. Stop releasing violent criminals. Protect our kids. And I will just say we are lifting up Jocelyn's family in prayer. The agony, Sean, you and I are both parents. The agony is unimaginable, and it is wrong. They should not be suffering, and they should not be experiencing this horrible loss.
It's wrong, and you're right, Senator, preventable. And for 3+ years, and even last week, the president said the border is secure, the border is closed. It never has been, because he bragged about undoing all the policies that did work, that were securing the border. Alexis, you mentioned earlier that you feel compelled, after the loss of your precious child, to talk to the American people about this. Please take that opportunity and tell them what you want them to understand.
I want the nation all around the world to understand that she was a child. She was my child. She was my firstborn. She was a preteen that was slowly becoming this beautiful young lady, and she was going so far. She had admiration of dreams and aspiring goals that she wanted to do in life. She was going to make it. She was going to do things. And these men, these illegal men, took that opportunity from my daughter, from our family, of watching her become this amazing person. So now, with her voice being ripped away from her, I am going to be her voice and stand strong and try to make a difference in this world, because this has got to stop. We have to stop burying our kids. This is not right. We have to have more reinforcement when it comes to letting people in. This is not okay. It's not okay.
Very well said. Kelvin, I'll ask you the same question. What do you want America to know when you think of all of the pain that your family is enduring right now and will probably for the rest of your lives? What do you say to the people in this country? Because this is happening an awful lot lately.
Well, most importantly, I would like the people that can make changes to our laws to just sit back, reflect. And I don't know if we can transmit the pain that we're having through cameras, but just sit back and reflect and think of all these little angels that shouldn't have been taken away. and they have for the reason that for the reason that we're not doing what we need to do. You know, screening these people. Like I've said before, you're not gonna tell me that with an ankle monitor and you're good to go. These people, you don't wake up one day and decide that you're gonna commit this horrific crime. This is people that have come used to doing this type of things. It's just sad that, I mean, it happens all over the country. We need a safer country.
Yeah. Well, I know I speak for this entire audience. I know my audience really well. And please know that I know everybody watching you now are lifting you and your family and your beautiful, precious daughter up in prayer. Our prayers are with you. Our condolences are with you. And this has got to stop. And I want to thank you, Senator, too. From the day you were going into, you know, the cages that they wouldn't allow my cameras in and sharing that video, you've been on the front line, Senator, warning that these types of things will happen. And I hope maybe they'll start listening so we can prevent this from ever happening again.
Yes. Look, we've got to, and we've got to have people stand up and say enough is enough. What's infuriating is today they're releasing more illegal aliens. Tomorrow, we're going to see more people being killed. It's day after day after day. You mentioned the 13-year-old girl who was raped in a New York public park, and the monster there videoed it. He was so proud of what he was doing that he made a videotape of it. It is sick and twisted. You mentioned Rachel Marin just a few days earlier. This keeps happening, and people have got to say enough is enough. And is there one Democrat senator who will say, okay, we've reached the limit, we're going to stop, we're not going to release people anymore, we're not going to put ankle monitors on them and let them go and release them into our community, we're going to stop. That's what it's going to take, and we need to come together and just say enough is enough. We need to protect our citizens.
Thank you, Senator, and Alexis and Kelvin. Our deepest prayers and sympathies, and we're just praying for your family. As a parent, I can't imagine what you're going through. God bless both of you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.